Israel is in a spot. Iran is betting big on Russian Su-35 warplanes, and Turkey seems to be edging closer to US F-35 stealth fighters. The Israeli Air Force rules Middle East skies, but is that set to change? Here's all you need to know. First, let's analyze Turkey's F-35 push. US President Donald Trump declared that Washington would remove the sanctions placed on Turkey in 2020 due to Ankara's acquisition of Russian defense missiles, simultaneously indicating a readiness to sell F-35 fighter jets to the NATO ally. Turkey's purchase of the Russian S-400 system in 2019 has remained a contentious issue for both nations. In retaliation for that transaction, Washington instituted sanctions in 2020 against a significant Turkish defense firm and expelled Turkey from the F-35 stealth fighter jet program in which Ankara had been a production collaborator. "We are going to be taking the sanctions off," Trump told reporters. The President of the United States mentioned that both his Secretary of State and Secretary of the Treasury were actively addressing the matter. Turkey has maintained a close association with Hamas for almost 2 decades, providing support to the group based in Gaza. President Recep Tayyip Erdogan had just invited Hamas chief Haniyeh to address the parliament shortly before his death. Ankara does not see Hamas as a terrorist group, but rather as a legitimate voice of the Palestinians and a key actor in the struggle against Israel. As per the Washington Institute, Ankara has hosted Hamas officials, first semi-secretly and then quite openly. Over the years, each round of fighting in Gaza damaged Turkey-Israel ties, and Ankara's attempts to help Hamas increasingly enraged Tel Aviv. The rift widened in 2010 after an international flotilla of privately owned ships sailed from Turkey to end Israel's blockade against Hamas-run Gaza. Turkey has been taking various actions against Israel since the onset of IDF's current military campaign in Gaza. Turkey even joined South Africa's International Court of Justice case against Israel, aiming to prosecute the country for genocide in Gaza. Israel was the first country outside the United States to acquire the F-35. In 2018, the US-made F-35 stealth fighter saw its first ever combat action, participating in an operation for the Israeli Air Force. The United States was the first country to recognize the provisional government of the State of Israel upon its founding in 1948. The two countries do not have a mutual defense pact, as the US has, with allies such as Japan and fellow members of the NATO alliance. However, Israel is among a short list of major non-NATO allies and has privileged access to the most advanced US military platforms and technologies. At the same time, Russia is steadily producing Su-35 multi-role fighters for Iran. According to reports, Moscow anticipates the completion of around 30 Su-35 flanker fighter jets for Iran by the beginning of 2027, marking a significant boost in Tehran's modernization efforts for long-range air combat capabilities. Current data indicates that by March 2026, 16 of these aircraft were already completed, with another fighter reportedly delivered in April, which raises the total to 17 fully assembled operational airframes. Iran perceives Israel as an obstacle to the establishment of a Palestinian state. Iran also perceives Israel as a real security threat due to its nuclear capabilities and military superiority. Let's now take a look at both of the combat aircraft. The F-35's aligned edges, reduced engine signature, internal carriage of weapons and fuel, and embedded sensors contribute to stealth performance. With stealth designed in from day one, the F-35 has an unmatched ability to evade enemy detection and enter contested airspace. Advanced electronic warfare capabilities locate and track enemy forces, jam radars, and disrupt attacks. With a top speed of Mach 1.6, the F-35 is a long-range, supersonic fighter, even with a full complement of internal weapons and fuel. The F-35 serves as an information and communications gateway, sharing its operational picture with the ground, sea, and air assets. The information a pilot needs, airspeed, altitude, and warnings, is projected on the helmet's visor, rather than on a traditional heads-up display. The Su-35 multi-role super-maneuverable fighter is designed to gain air superiority and destroy air, ground, and surface targets. The Su-35 is equipped with sophisticated digital systems that allow the 4++ generation fighter with 5th generation elements to effectively interact with other warplanes when resolving various combat missions. 4+ generation typically means upgraded armaments, onboard avionics equipment, radar, etc., while 4++ denotes the incorporation of weapons and systems that could be found on a 5th generation aircraft. The Su-35S variant features a high-precision phased antenna array radar with a range of over 400 kilometers and a maximum deflection angle of up to 120 degrees, onboard electronic warfare equipment, and 2 optional outboard fuel tanks, which increase the aircraft's maximum range from 3,600 kilometers to 4,500 kilometers. The warplane, which has a top speed of up to 2,500 kilometers, features an onboard computer, allowing the jet to detect and target up to 4 ground or 30 air targets, and engage between 2 and 8 targets simultaneously, depending on the missile used. The aircraft can carry a wide array of short, medium, and long-range air-to-air missiles. It can also be equipped with air-to-ground and anti-ship missiles and both precision-guided and unguided bombs, allowing it to attack naval and ground targets. The Su-35 fares well in an intense enemy electronic countermeasure and counterfire environment, in any weather, day or night. The Su-35 repels attacks, protects the airspace, and performs battlefield air interdiction and aerial reconnaissance.